Now, at the beginning of the programme, we heard some words of conciliation, support even, from the new Education Committee Chair, Mervyn Storey, for his Education Minister. Surely some mistake. The two have often been at loggerheads. So is there a sea change? Mervyn Storey is with me now. Mervyn Storey, you're very welcome. We did clip your words of support for the Minister this morning, but I suppose maybe they were limited to a particular area. Is this the beginning of an attempt to sort of see some dialogue between the Committee Chair and the Education Minister?
While it might make good for TV and for good theatre, I think that we need to remember this is a change in personality but not a change in policy.
Well, you see, we actually like disagreement. That's what television thrives on. But nonetheless, I suppose people out there might like to see some agreement. I mean, you're meeting the Minister. Are you going to attempt to build a relationship here that might see some resolution to this selection process debacle?
Fundamental for us is the resolution of the issue, which has been the problem for the last number of years, in fact, since Martin McGuinness arbitrarily abolished the 11+. And we have seen successive governments continue to impose that position, but thankfully at the St Andrews Agreement the DUP secured academic selection. And what the Minister, whether she likes to face the reality or not, she has to accept the legal position that we currently are in. And that legal position is that academic selection has been retained. So therefore she can't continue to bury her head in the sand. We won't accept the current proposals as they're framed, where we have a situation where academic selection will have a stay of execution for 3 years. That won't be acceptable. However, I am determined as the Chair of the Education Committee to ensure that we bring these issues to the Minister, that she knows what the issues are and that she faces up to her responsibility.
Are those issues best discussed in open fora like the Chamber or the Education Committee, or at this stage is it better knocking heads together round a table?
I think we need a combination of all of those things. We as a party have just concluded a number of public meetings right across the country. In fact, I have now had requests for more of those public meetings because it is palpable the concern that there is in the country with this issue. Parents, Board of Governors, principals, everybody involved in education wants to see a resolution, and unfortunately they're not getting the leadership from this Minister.
What do you think is going on right now, Mervyn Storey? Because we did have that situation where she brought a paper to the executive and then there was an agreement that they were going to move forward on that basis. There hasn't been an agreement for a subcommittee. Is nothing happening now, or is Katrina Ruan simply moving ahead with her own plan in the absence of anything else?
Well, I think that what you've simply done, Mark, is you've highlighted the problem that people do not know. We've had numerous attempts to try and have clarification. The Education Committee has asked for submissions from various interested groups and stakeholders, and over the last number of days those submissions have been coming back into the committee. And the one common theme from a wide range of stakeholders is the issue of clarification. And obviously the Minister is trying to ignore the legal position, but she can't ignore it at the expense of not bringing forward proposals which will get a consensus.
Say we have this continuing vacuum. I mean, it could be very difficult, I suppose, for primary school teachers, because on the one hand you may have some schools that set tests, but if the Education Department is telling primary school teachers you've got to teach along this particular line, it's going to be very hard for them simply to break out and prepare for these tests which they're being told by their department they're not meant to be preparing the children for.
Well, I think that's the issue that's always at the core of this, and that is the frustration that teachers in the schools have. And teachers are increasingly telling us, last week we had over 130 principals in this very building, and their issues are not only about the future in terms of post-primary transfer, but they're the issues in terms of the number of pupils in classrooms, the issue of the disparity of funding that we have between primary schools and post-primary, and a whole range of issues about pupil profiling, INCAs, and so all of those issues. And and again, we had a prime example in the House today where the Minister, having answered the same question back in April, telling us about a review that she was undertaking and about bringing forward proposals in terms of the gender of teachers in primary schools, she still hasn't brought forward those proposals. This Minister seems to be the person who is most capable at delay and at diversion, and that has to come to an end. And I am certainly determined in the meeting that we will have today with the Minister to underscore that delay and those diversionary tactics have to come to an end.
Okay, Mervyn Storey, I know you're under pressure to get there. Wouldn't be good to be late in your first formal meeting. We'll let you escape. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.